All right, well, it's 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We're ready to begin our webcast, which is entitled Alpha Anywhere, Hello World Workshop. I'm Dave McCormick from Alpha Software, and I'm pleased to be joined today by Chris Martin, our solutions engineer. Today we're going to be doing a sort of one of our more basic webcast examples, and that's a Hello World application. Now, if you've ever worked in any other programming language or development environment, you're probably familiar with the concept of Hello World. It's basically a very simple implementation just to test out whether or not a system is working and can display the words Hello World on the screen. So today we're going to take you through that. We're going to explain some of the important concepts behind building mobile applications in Alpha Anywhere. So let's begin. Hello, Chris. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How's it going, Dave?
It's going great. Could you just go ahead and quickly demonstrate this little application that we'll be building?
Okay, well, this is the Hello World application in which we have a mobile application here with a Click Me button. When I click the Click Me button, it opens up a different page with the Hello World, which is pretty much one of the first programs almost every programming language has you do as a sample just to get you started.
Great.
And then I have a little back button here that's going to bring me back to the previous page.
Excellent. So why don't we take it from the very, very beginning, maybe even close down Alpha Anywhere and start with a new project and put this together so people can see how we do it.
Very good. Okay, down here at the bottom here, I already have a link here for my Alpha software, and I can click on that. That's going to open up Alpha Anywhere. And I'm going to create a new empty workspace
now
for my application.
So a workspace in Alpha Anywhere, and it's actually used by other platforms as well, it's basically a place where you're going to keep a particular project that you're working on. In Alpha Anywhere, we have a particular file called an ALB file, which will keep track of the files in your workspace. You don't actually need to know about that file. Alpha does it for you. So go ahead and click that, and you'll see as Chris proceeds that he's going to be creating a new directory on his hard drive to place the new project. We suggest that you do each new workspace or project in its own directory.
So I'm going to create a new folder by I just did a right click here to bring up the Windows Explorer, in which I can add a new folder. I'm going to call this Demo Hello. Double click on it, and I want to give the workspace a name, Hello World, and then I'm going to click Save. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new up here. I'm going to click on New, and it's going to be a web component. I'm going to zoom out so I can see the whole screen.
So let's just talk about that for a quick moment. In Alpha Anywhere, you can build both web applications and mobile applications, and basically both of them are built the same way. You create a page or multiple pages for your applications, and in these pages you place things we call web components, which are basically these chunks of code which you create using the component builders. So go ahead and click Web Component, Chris, and we'll show you the different types of web components that are available.
Okay, so I clicked Web Component. Now I'm going to click the Next button.
Yep. And the one to take a look at is UX. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to click the UX here. There are some other choices here, but what we'll be covering today will be the UX component.
And that's the one you really want to use when you're building mobile applications as opposed to just web applications.
And then click Next. And I'm going to select the defaults here. You can create, if you want to talk about this a little, Dave, custom templates, or start with a blank UI or UX.
We can go ahead and start with a blank one.
I'm going to start with a blank UX.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to click on here. We have the controls. And the controls is going to give me a whole list of drop-down boxes here.
So a control could be it could be a field, it could be a picture, it could be a button. Lots of different kinds of controls, and they can be grouped into something we call panels. And what Chris is about to do is he's about to put down what we call a panel navigator, and in that he's going to put in some panel cards, and the panel navigator lets you move from card to card. So if you remember,
so I'm going to I'm going to add a panel navigator, and then I'm going to add some panel cards to the navigation, and then I'm going to add some controls to it. So first I'm going to select panel navigator, and I get this little pop-up screen here. Insert the opening panel navigator tag. By default, you're usually going to do this. I'm going to click OK, and there's my panel navigator. Next thing I want to add right after this is going to be a panel card. So I put panel card, again, you get another screen similar. And I want to insert it after the position that I'm at right now. If I was in a different position, I might want to insert before, or I could select a group of controls and say insert it around it. In this case, I'm just going to say insert after. And there's my panel card. I want to add another one immediately after this, panel card, insert after. And then finally, for containers, I want to select a container here called a header. And it's listed under containers, which has a list of different types of containers you can have, and one of them is a panel header. So I'm going to select that and say insert after. And then I want to do the same thing for this one right here, for this panel card 2. Panel header, insert after. And so we have something to look at. I'm going to add some controls in here for now in the header. So I'm going to click on other controls. I'm going to do a static text here, and I'm also going to put a static text right there. For my first static text, I'm going to go over here to my static text, and I'm going to put some text in there. So this is the first panel, and this is going to be hello world application. And spell it correctly, zoom out. Next, I'm going to select a header for this panel. And zoom in. Hello page. So now we have a panel navigator with 2 panel cards and a panel header on each of these. So we should actually see something here now. So I'm going to zoom in my screen here, full screen. Click on Working Preview.
Now you might want to run that in the mobile simulator.
And this is something that I always forget to do, which was
click the button.
I'm going to click the mobile button, then click Working Preview, so it puts it in a mobile application. So actually, we see our first page here, but we can't actually see the second one because we have no way of getting there. So I'm going to go back to my first panel, and after this header, I'm going to add a button component. And with this button, I'm going to type in click me. And then I'm going to come down to this JavaScript area here, and I am going to do a click event, which brings up this screen, where I am going to add a new JavaScript action here. You can actually start coding right now, but I'm going to let Alpha Anywhere do this for me. Click Add New. I want to do a panel action. This is a panel that I'm working with. I double-clicked. I am going to select, I'm not going to zoom in for that. I'm going to select Active Panel. And the active panel I want to go to is the second panel, Panel Card 2. Then click OK, OK, and then Save Panel Action. So now it should actually be doing something now, so I'm going to hit Working Preview. There's a Click Me button. When I hit Click Me, it brings me to the Hello page. Now I want some more on this Hello page here, so I want to actually have the Hello World message be in the body, not the header of our panel card. So I'm going to add another static text here. And zoom in again. I'm going to type Hello World. But then I want a way to get back to this very first panel. So above in this header here, I'm going to add another button so I can get back to that panel. I'm going to call this Back. And I'm going to add another click event here to go back to the other panel again. So you can see this being done over again. I'm adding a new action. I want to filter it down to just panel actions by typing there. That helps filter down a list for what you're looking for. Double click on that. I want to do it again, a set active panel, and then the target panel is going to be our first panel card 1. Click OK, OK, and then save. Now, just to make this look a little better, I'm going to put a tab stop in here, which is just put a little bit of a spacer between the static text and the button so they're not bunched up right next to each other. There are other ways to do styling, but this is the simplest way to do this right now. I'm going to click on Working Preview and see what we got. So click me, and there's the Hello World text that we added. There's our header, hello page, and our back button to bring us back to the main page. And that's pretty much it, how you create the Hello World application, Dave.
Excellent. That's pretty much the entire application. We've seen it in about 11 minutes, so now we have some time for questions. One of the first questions we have asks about internationalization, or the character set. And that's actually controlled in a couple ways. If you enter in international characters, they will be supported. So even though we say back and whatever, this, keep in mind, is a Windows program. So if your Windows is set to whatever your international character set is, you can type that in for button text, button, bubble help, etc. The application itself will be in English, but your final application, the one that you create, can be in any language that you like. If you'd like more information about that, just send me off an email to guides, G-U-I-D-E-S, at alphasoftware.com. So now is the time that we would like to open this up for questions. You'll see a questions box in your GoToWebinar control panel. If this is very clear to you, then you may not have any questions. And in the meantime, I'd like to tell you about a new program that we are offering, which is what we call a custom evaluation plan. And what this is an attempt to make it easier for you to evaluate Alpha Anywhere to see if it's right for the project that you're working on, and to help you get started on a particular project. So if you are coming to Alpha Anywhere with a project in mind, and you're not just here just to sort of learn it in general, we can actually do an interview with you either over the phone or on Skype, and we could put together a project plan which outlines 8 different points of your application. There are things like data integration, security, the user experience, reporting and charting, input, so that could be text, barcodes, pictures, things like that. And basically make a small plan for you, and then point you to the exact right videos and documentation to show you how to get what you want done. Now we have over 600 technical videos. We have over 6,500 pages of documentation. So as you can imagine, it may not be always that easy at first to find exactly what you're looking for, and that's why we're here to help. So one of our solutions engineers can put that together for you, and we will do that free of charge. If you're interested, send an email over to guides, G-U-I-D-E-S, at alphasoftware.com. If we don't have any other questions, then we're going to end this session, well, pretty soon. But we'll give you another moment or two to ask any questions that you may have by typing them into the questions box. By the way, we are doing another session on Thursday. I think quite a lot of you are already signed up for it, and we'll be connecting up to data. We'll be doing a more sophisticated example. But I think it was pretty important for everyone to get the concept of panel cards and containers and panel navigators before we move on to connecting it up to data, which we will do. Also a copy of this, and both as we actually have a video which will describe this. We'll have a copy of this, and we'll also have a the application itself available on our GitHub account. So I've noticed that we have a couple more questions come in. We have a person asking about an IIS issue. So there's actually 2 people. We have a person who's actually in charge of our IIS team. I can send off any questions you have directly to them. I think I just noticed, David, that you've asked that question, and I have in fact forwarded that along to our chief of IIS, and he should get back to you shortly, but I will go double check on that. Here's a good question here, and that is, how do you choose the skin for the GUI? In other words, yeah, sure, you've got that gray and black and white skin, but how do you choose a different style? So, Chris, you want to go ahead and take that?
Oh, okay, sure. One of the things you do is you can click on Properties, and in Properties there's a thing called Style Name. There's lots of ways to style your application, but these are some quick ways that you can style your application. I'm going to slide this over just so it's a little easier to line this up. So I'm going to click on this button right here in the corner here. And right now we're set up for iOS. I'm going to click on that and pulls up a pop-up window and gives me some other choices. I can do Android styles here, some different color styles, or iOS 7 style, which I'll select right now. And it gives you a brief view of pretty much how your style is going to look in certain areas. And you can also edit the style, but we're just going to click OK. Click on Working Preview again, and you see now our button has kind of a different style here. The text here is a little different. It doesn't have that
Not like a drop shadow or something, or an
drop shadow in there. Yeah, like a 3D look. I'm going to click on the Click Me. As you can see now, the button is also looking like an iOS 7 style button. Same with the text here. I'm not sure if there was too much difference in between the styles as far as this goes. And I'm going to click back. So that's one way you can change your styles on how your screen looks. I'll just select one more so you can get an idea. So I'm going to select Android Light, click OK, run it again, and boom, now we have another style. You can see that it looks like there's like a little bit of a border here. Text looks pretty much the same. The button has changed to a different look for Android. Same with this button here, and this header with this little border over here.
And it's also possible for us to change the styles depending on the device the user is on. So if they are on an iOS device, we can make it look like iOS. If they're on an Android device, we can make it look like Android. If they're on Windows, we can make it look like Windows. And we can cover that in a different topic, but that's all part of our adaptive and responsive design techniques that are built into Alpha Anywhere. It's one of the many features there.
Sure. Yep, so that will be coming up in a future tutorial that we'll be having in a webinar.
Great. Well, it looks like we are out of questions. If you have any questions in the meantime, just send them off to me. You can either send them to Dave@alphasoftware.com or Guides, Guides, at alphasoftware.com. I want to thank you for spending these last 20 minutes with us, and we're going to send you out an email asking if you're interested in doing one of those custom evaluation plans. Not a sales tool or anything. We're not going to bug you to buy the software. We're just going to help you, point you in the right direction for the resources, and let you choose for yourself. So thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at a future webinar. Take care, and goodbye.